challenges. Life is not easy. Did you know that having a successful and uncomplicated relationship is not a matter of luck? It requires the ability to be open, honest, and vulnerable. But where do you learn how to do that? It's time you tune into You've Got Mail, Messages from Him, a unique radio show geared toward the Black male perspective of family, relationships, and community. I'm your host, Tashawn, a certified relationship coach who brings a relaxed and unbiased perspective to issues such as communication, trust, breakups, divorce, and more. I know how to listen and understand. So tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to You've Got Mail, Messages from Him, and prepare to be educated, entertained, and enlightened. No, I Okay, we're working on the sound. He said they can't hear.
Everybody can hear now?
No, they can't hear.
Huh? Should be good.
Can you hear now? Can y'all hear?
We ain't worried about the camera. We're worried about the hearing.
No, I know.
Take one. Can y'all hear now?
Oh, it wasn't all the way in? Oh, Rob, you got to make sure you put it all the way in, bro. You can't leave it halfway out.
Can y'all hear now?
It don't work.
He's young, so he might not know how to put it out. He's young.
I'm glad she got headphones on. She can't hear. It's over.
Can y'all hear now? Give me a give me a thumbs up or something. Can y'all hear?
Yeah, let us know. Politic with the team. Let us know.
It said close out the app and reload it. I can't close out this app,
you
so
can't
do that.
Okay, Glenn said y'all can hear us.
Yeah. He can hear us now.
Okay.
Yeah, dope. All
right, y'all. That's live.
Yeah, we're back in business.
We're live.
We're back in business.
We're live in the studio.
That let y'all know that everything is real. There's a real station. There's real stuff going on. We have real issues, and we can overcome real obstacles.
Real quick, baby.
Real quick. If you need somebody on your team like us, hit us up. We got charges.
You know what?
Period.
You've got mail messages from him.
Yep. It's messages from us.
What'd you say?
Us.
Can
you? Yeah. I hope y'all hear us.
Yeah.
Coming from me, y'all can hear us.
Y'all
when I say it through this mic, us.
But it's a little loud too.
Yeah.
Oh, it is kind of loud. Yeah.
Come on, tighten up. I'm gonna bust every eardrum there. Come on now. I know I got big ears, but I'm just saying.
Okay, Tip said we can hear now.
Okay, she can hear. I'm glad you can hear, Tip. Thanks for the alert, Tibria. You're the best.
See, squad up. We can switch sides and still get it done.
Oh yeah.
But it's been a crazy week, y'all. Like the
week been crazy.
It's been crazy, and I think.
Have you been crazy throughout the week?
No, it's been crazy week.
You
know what? It's been. This is like March. This is a whole year anniversary that we've been in the pandemic and been teaching all kind of crazy ways. So it's just been like crazy, and you can actually tell it with the educators because we really are like, okay, wait a minute, something is off this month, and it didn't hit us. It's like, oh, we hadn't been in our classroom in the whole year. So like this week we got the remaining of the kids to come back in. So now I have 8 students in the classroom and the rest of them online, and so I'm teaching again virtually in classroom and whatnot, and it is like it's crazy. So it's like meeting the kids for the first time, and and they're looking at me and trying to keep their mask up, and it's right. Y'all owe us, parents. Y'all owe us.
We got you.
Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up. Y'all owe us, okay?
What y'all want?
We want gift cards.
Gift cards. Y'all want gift cards with money on the gift card.
We want money on the gift card.
You need to give us a list of the stores that you frequent.
Just give us a Visa gift card.
Okay.
That's what we want, because when I
can't just cash out.
That's fine too. That is fine too.
With the line that say gift card.
Gift card.
We need a cash register sound.
Hey, look, I just heard that.
Teachers.
$1 million worth of game got that. The little ching. Yeah, we need that.
We need our gifts this year because we been going through it. So we get tested weekly. You was volunteer if you want to get tested weekly, and then a few of my kids literally have been out because they got sick, and so now you got to worry about the mask and the snot in the mask, and it's just. And then my kids are like, they're pre-K, right? So they're like, I got snot in, and I'm like, so literally changing masks in the morning time, putting those in with. It's just a lot. You got. When I tell you spring break next week, don't call me.
Spring break is week?
Yes. Don't ask me about projects. Don't ask me.
I'm gonna call you on purpose.
Don't ask me about.
I need help.
What I'm gonna tell you? Go to YouTube and Google.
I'm gonna hit you on morning machine time. That's what
hey, look, I'm gonna call and say I need some help. I need help on the project.
I'm gonna be like, I don't know.
Hit you up at 6 a.m. Be like, you awake?
I'm gonna call him.
You're on spring break, right?
I'm gonna call him. Be like, how you make toast?
Yeah, how you make toast? Do you put the butter on the bread first, or do you put it on top of the stove, or do you put it in the stove? Do you cut the edges off?
I'll be like, don't call me. Don't ask me nothing about school. Don't ask me nothing.
No, you shouldn't have told us that.
Nothing. When I tell you we are tired, and they're like, we tired. We are tired. Like people are not understanding just because they sent their kids back, they're thinking like people are still treating it like it's normal. And I'm like, no, we're not back to normal. Like we still got to get our temps checked every morning. We got to make sure the kids are safe. Like it's just a lot.
Do the kids get their temperature checked too?
Every morning, getting up and like our parents can't come into the building. So he's, the admin teams, on all the schools, they don't let everybody in the building. So you got crying pre-K that's coming in. Wow. So you have to console them as well. So it's a lot. Then
so what happens if a kid has a high temperature?
They have to go home. The parents are called and they go home, and then they go to the doctor.
They sit in the room?
No, they actually go to the nurse's office until the parent comes and get them. Yeah. So it's, like I said, I had a few that were literally sick, but they did go get tested. So they didn't have COVID. And then at some of the schools, like our numbers have been really low. So that's been a blessing. But I mean, I'm not scared of the kids. It's just the fact that it's a lot of work.
Politics around it.
Yeah, because like we have to eat lunch and breakfast. And so I'm literally in the closed room all day. So other than, and like I've trained them. I'm always good at teaching my kids that I gotta go to the bathroom so you can go to the bathroom. If you can't go to the bathroom, I can't go to the bathroom. So sit down while I go to the bathroom. These are 4-year-olds. I'm good.
Oh, you good?
Oh yeah, they know not to. Yeah,
she got to put together.
Yeah, they know. I gotta go to the bathroom. The teacher gonna be. But yesterday I had to put on the mean green, Miss Faith. Yeah,
the mean green.
Yeah. They were off the chain yesterday. The chain. Yeah.
It was Friday.
It was Friday. It was the end of the month. And then on top of that, y'all know I had a little incident last week with the bone.
With the fishbone we love. Fishbone we love.
I literally was eating salmon, right? We eat it all the time. I cooked the bomb dish, right? I was good. I cooked. Salmon bone got caught in my throat, and then I literally didn't know because I'm like, I'm good with bone, like I'm good, like taking it out or what, but it's salmon, so
you missed one.
It got stuck. But what freaked us out because I started vomiting and blood was coming out, and we didn't know what was in there. Like we didn't know what was going on. So like how you have that cough and you can't stop. Then all of a sudden it was I was vomiting and then the blood, and that's what scared us. Because literally, and then he beat me on my back, old school. And I'm like, so my back been sore, like, literally beat me.
He was putting force with it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And he was like, then when I opened my mouth, I was like, babe, I said, it's a bone. So it was literally horizontal. So you can see it, but it was behind the tonsils. So it was lodged in there. So when the blood kept coming up, he was like, we got to call 911. I was like, yeah, go ahead. So you can feel my throat swelling up. So the lady on the 911, she was really good. She can hear it in my voice that I wasn't breathing right. And she kept asking, she said, are you breathing? And I said, yeah. And then she was like, okay, the paramedics are on the way. So he's like, are they on the way? She was like, they're on the way. Continue to walk. Do not lay down. Do not eat bread. Don't drink anything. And so forth. So when they got there, they were like, ma'am, you're going to have to go to the ER. We can't do anything. And they, took the vitals. And I have a heart murmur. So my pulse was racing and it started skipping a beat. So I'm like trying to catch my breath. So they were trying to calm me down because it literally, the more I talked, it was scraping, like it was sticking that thing. So that's where the blood was coming from and all that. So y'all know if I ask for prayers online, it got to be something like.
Yeah. So you're good now.
I'm good now. Yeah. So we went. I was like, we hit down East-West Connector, and I was like, oh, I want to go to ER because the way they were describing it, what they're gonna have to do. I said, we could get it out. He was like, you sure? I said, we could get it out. Went to the store, got some chopsticks as a tongue depressor, held it down, and pulled it on out.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I went to ER. Number one, that costs money.
Yeah, it costs money. Yeah, you get billed for that.
Yes.
I don't want to ride no ambulance, so they had to turn the ambulance around. They said, you refuse? I said, yep, I refuse. I'm not going in the ambulance. I'm not doing that. They were like, okay, well, you got to get to the ER. No doubt about it, because we can't dislodge anything, due to COVID and all of that. We can't do anything. Fire department there, you got to get to ER because
you had everybody.
Yeah, everybody there. Because they were like, and I was in my gown, y'all. So y'all know it had to be serious for them to come in. And they were just, I was trying to stay calm, but they were like, trying to keep me calm as well because they can see it. Like, and so I'm like talking like here, I'm like, I can't.
When was that? When was Tuesday? When was it?
This was Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I had a call for this school. I can't go. And I was just like, I felt like I was gonna faint because
now every time you eat salmon now.
I did not even eat this week. Like that was traumatizing. Y'all know I love food.
Yeah,
I love food. So I've been I've been hungry.
I'm so sorry.
Y'all know it must be traumatic if I don't eat. Even Shelley's like, you don't want nothing to eat. No, give me a bowl of cereal.
That's safe.
That's safe. She gonna soak it and let the cereal get soft. She gonna let the cereal get soft. She ain't gonna even eat the cereal the proper way.
That's right. So but
no
that
foods with bones.
No food, like nothing. Like I've never had that issue.
I'm so sorry.
Never.
I'm sorry. Wow. They forced you on the diet.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was God's way of saying, "Now stop eating because you got to get rid of that chin."
It's over with.
So you got mail messages from him. Thank y'all for tuning in. Listen, we're gonna go ahead and get started because we got a hot subject topic that is very popular among men here in Georgia, especially. Definitely. And the purpose of this show, You've Got Mail, is to hear what's going on from you guys. And being a female, I'm always interested in knowing what's going on with you all. And today we have a special guest, John Pristell. Did I say that right? Pristell. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Pristell. Well, see, that's what I said. My mind all over the place. Let me get right. Let me get centered, y'all. Pristell of Father's Care. Help me welcome him because he has actually a movement, y'all, a fatherhood movement, especially for Georgia, because I learned of this some years ago that fathers in Georgia really did not have rights.
Nope.
And that blew my mind. And being a teacher, I did see a lot of this in action where there were women that were coming and the first thing they said, don't let him go with his dad. And I'm like, and I literally had an incident where we had to hide the child because the father came up and they were over this custody battle. And she was like, he don't have this, that, another, but his name was on the birth certificate. So we had to call APD. I had to hide the child in the building because it was an emergency because this mother literally was mad, no lie. And my teachers can tell you, she was mad because he has a new girlfriend.
That's the norm.
Yeah. Mind you, this baby has been taken care of. I mean, she loves her. This was some years ago when I first learned about this. She was excited about seeing her dad. But because the mama was upset and knew that he had a new girlfriend, created a ruckus. And they end up arresting him because he was frustrated. So they kept telling him to calm down. But they didn't take him to jail. They just had to remove him off the premises because she was determined. And so you have a movement for this. Can you tell us, let's just get right into this because I did sign a petition and all of that. So let's get right into this because it's hurtful. It is very hurtful.
It is. So again, my name is John Pristell. I'm the founder of a nonprofit organization called Peace of Justice, and under that organization, we have something called what's called the Father's Care Movement, where we are it's focused on changing the law, starting right here in Georgia, changing the law so that they support healthy relationships between children and their fathers. Because right now, the laws do the exact opposite of that. They don't support healthy relationships between children and their fathers, and so we're working to change that.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So what was your personal experience with it to start this? How did it start?
Well, I didn't have my daughter till I was 36, but even before that, I had many family members, friends who I saw, who ended up being single fathers either through divorce or through a girlfriend that didn't work out. And I saw how they were treated. I saw how, it was so difficult for them to see their children. Yeah. I saw how, child support made it difficult for them to survive. And I just thought it was always so unfair. And, I always wanted to avoid it, which is one reason why, I waited so long to have a child. I was trying to, avoid all that mess. Right.
Right.
Because I just thought it was so unfair. I wanted to avoid it. And, but once I experienced it myself, just the process. I got married, had a child, got divorced, and went through the the child custody battle, which shouldn't be a battle, but it always is because there's money involved.
Yeah.
And going through it myself made me want to actually do something about it. I mean, I witnessed it, over the years, and I would have gladly signed up to support anybody else who's doing what I'm doing. But going through it myself made me want to actually put my best foot forward to make sure something's done about it.
Wow. So you said the child support. How does all of that play in? If you're the father of your children, you were divorced, and so you still have to pay child support and all of that. Like, explain that to me, because I still don't get that. Like,
okay, so
this is your child, and you still have to go through all of this, because the stuff that I witnessed from it amazes me. I'm like, these are your kids, and the mother is still have the right to go downtown or wherever and put all of these stipulations on the fathers, and then they still have the right. They can still not let y'all see the kids.
Facts.
So it's something I started reading more about it and learning more about it after when I started going through the process myself, and I learned that there's a difference between being married and having a child and not being married and having a child. When you're married, you do have rights to begin with. Some rights, the child you're the legal father of the child when you're married, when your child is conceived. If you're single when your child is conceived, you have zero rights. Zero rights.
Really?
From the beginning, you can't. Even if your name is on the birth certificate, you have no rights whatsoever. You have no rights to visitation. You have no rights to medical records, educational records, nothing.
Wait a minute. Okay, so now, I didn't know that part. I really didn't know that. So you are claiming the child. Your name is on the birth certificate, and you're saying that you don't have any right.
No, but you must pay child support.
But you must pay child.
You must pay child support.
And tell them about the fact that they even if you just give them money, it's considered a gift. And even if they want to, they can even take it a step further, and they can file child abandonment charges on you every single month of the year.
Right. So what you mentioned about if you're not on child support, but you're given, so say you're not paying child support through the state, right?
Right.
But you're taking care of your child. I have a story about my nephew, my niece married a young man who's my age. They got married, I don't know, 15 years ago. He had a child from a previous relationship, and he had been taking care of his son for 6 years before the mother decided to put him on child support. And he was actually cool about it. He's like, okay, well, now we'll put it on paper, right? So they negotiated an amount, and then between him and his lawyer and her lawyer, and then after they came to that amount, the lawyer said, okay, now let's talk about back child support,
right?
And so he said, well, no. He anticipated. He said, no. I have all these. I have all the receipts for these 6 years of everything I paid for. He pulled out a big folder. His mom was an accountant, so she helped him with that.
Right.
And the lawyer told him, well, that's nice, but that's considered a gift.
Yep.
All that's considered a gift.
Hold up. So he had the receipts. He was paying faithfully, and this was considered
a gift because he didn't pay through the state.
Yes,
he didn't pay through the state. It was considered a gift, and he ended up owing $10,000 in child support. $10,000. The man cried, and his wife cried.
That lets you further know the agenda.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Every time he filed anything dealing with money coming from the state, they taking it.
Yep.
From the rip. You don't even have to immediately.
When you owe, you don't.
And that is legal.
Yeah, that's legal.
Yeah, it's legal, but it's legal. But I believe it's unconstitutional.
It is
a
violation of it's an equal rights issue in my view, because when I was married, nobody was nobody was stepping into my business asking me how much asking me or making sure that I spend a certain amount of money on my child. When I was married, I took care of my child.
Right.
The government didn't get involved and say, hey, you're making $100,000, so you need to be paying this much for your child. Or you're making 120, so you need to be paying this much for your child. It's my business, my child, my business.
Right.
As soon as you get divorced, or if you're in a relationship where you're not married, well, then they get into your business. Then they get into your business and tell you how much you should be spending on your child, and that leads to economic inequality. Because as a married man, I could tell you let's say I make $120,000 a year, and based on that, as a married man, I qualify. I can go out and buy a house that's say $400,000 because I qualify based on how much I make and what my credit score is. Right. Same man, unmarried, making the same amount of money, same credit score, will qualify for $100,000 or less because he's on child support, and child support is considered a debt. Yep, considered a debt. And this blew my mind when I first, about a year after I got divorced. I went to go look for another house. Right. I wanted to buy another house, and I was going through the application process, and they asked me, "Do you pay child support?" And I said, "Yes." "How much?" $1,000 a month. And so, okay, we're going to have to count that against you. My heart just sunk. Yep.
Are you serious?
My heart just sunk because to me, it's evil. It's evil for them to.
So you trying to provide a home for your children, but they counted against you.
They counted against you.
And don't pay it. They're gonna take your license.
Yep.
All that. Yes. It's ridiculous.
And we're not talking about the cat who just don't care. We're talking about the cat that cares, who was there in the delivery room and caught him,
caught the baby, cut the cord, signed the birth certificate. We talk about them guys.
I caught him.
I know.
I'm one of those guys, and I have went through everything he's talking about.
Takeover said nothing at all, even if you have your kids legitimized. Now I do remember hearing some men, even in my own family, said that. And these kids, I'm like, you can't deny the kids. Like they're like, the men spit them out, so they never denied the kids. But I remember somebody talked about legitimizing, like it wasn't official until you What is the legitimization?
The most offensive thing. One of the most offensive things I ever heard of. When I found out about that again after I got divorced. Basically, if you're not married when you have your child, you have to go ask permission to have legal rights to your child. It's not automatic. For a mother,
stop the front door.
For a mother, if you read the law, for a mother, in order for a mother to have parental rights to her child, there's one requirement: be the biological mother. That's it. For a father, being a biological father is not enough. You have to
go through the paperwork.
Go through the paperwork. It's either you're married, and that'll give you rights, or you've been legitimized, or you've illegally adopted the child.
So hold on. So you have to literally.
It's paperwork.
Go get paperwork and ask for.
Yes.
Gotta sign the line.
Gotta go get paperwork.
Rights for your child that looks like you, that smell like you, that does everything like you. You gotta ask for permission.
Yes.
Guarantee you're gonna get it.
What you mean? There ain't no guarantee.
The court. Let's say I was married when I had my daughter. Let's say I wasn't married, and I went to the court and said, "Hey, can I please have rights to my child?" The court can see, they're going to do an assessment to see if it's in the best interest of the child for you to have rights to your child.
Right.
That's what they do.
Yep.
Crazy.
But the same thing doesn't happen for a mother, though.
So the mother could be like, say,
the bottom of the barrel,
killer,
drugs, or like just don't have that living condition, and she,
still mama.
Do you know how hard it is for a woman to lose her kids?
Almost impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Like, let me be real.
Yeah.
And please don't shoot me through the internet.
I mean,
crackheads have their kids, and there's dads who have challenged them for them,
and they were
denied.
Yep, still lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to American Corporation, y'all.
Welcome to America.
This is what it is.
And you know what the bottom line was? In Louisiana, it was I think 11% of 8-point-something% of your payment goes to the state.
Yeah. So this is across America. Like fathers, are there any states that fathers have rights?
It's worse in some. It's better or worse in some states, but generally across the board, it needs to be changed. There are some states where I believe it's a little easier for fathers. I think Nevada is one of them.
Okay.
I think Ohio is one of them.
Yeah.
No, Ohio's not.
It's not.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Because no, Chef will tell you that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because the whole child support and all of that,
it's crazy.
It from hearing the different friends of mine that talk about this same issue is there got to be something because I know, and again, you guys, if you're just tuning in,
the life of a black man.
Yeah, You've Got Mail is a show that's uplifting positive men. So I know I'm surrounded by positive men and that men that wants to be fathers, and they're going through this just to prove their fatherhood. And that is so
every day.
It bothers me.
You can walk in the school system and the teachers will look at you like, why are you here?
Yeah,
I just did it.
Yeah,
like last week when I went into school, I'm looking at the teachers like, I'm here.
Yeah,
they talk to the mama.
Yeah, we do. We did, and I will include myself in the beginning of my teaching career, because again, you didn't know, because you were taught, you almost were conditioned. Conditioned that the fathers are never going to be around. Right. So you're talking to the fathers, and that this is my 25th, 4th year, so I've learned over the years. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm seeing a lot of good dads. You know, they may not be the dads that we think they are, but I know a lot of these good guys are coming through. They want to see their sons. Over the years, literally, guys, I am not exaggerating. I've witnessed women getting upset, and they literally, and I go back because we have access to all the files, right? And you're looking at the birth certificate, you're like, on the birth but his name is on the birth certificate. And it's about relationships. And then we had to literally, there's a lot, well, when the parent wants, if you don't want the person to see the child, you have to put it in writing, because I don't go off of the text message or the email. Right. Put it in writing. And so we make that copy, and now you have to get it notarized. So many mamas will write me, don't let him see such and such.
And it's about another woman.
But they will put another man.
Exactly. Correct. That's the purpose. There. That's what they do.
Their boyfriend.
Their boyfriend.
They trying to make him into the kid's dad when the kid's dad is right there, because they know that that's hurting the father. Yeah. It's all about hurting the dad.
Over the years, I can't even tell you the number of stories and the issues that I've witnessed, and literally the boyfriends would come up, and you're like, wow, this. I had one dad to cry to me. He was like, Miss Collier, he was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. He was like, every week I'm trying to see my baby every week, and it's nothing I could tell him, and I would like, are you going through the courts? And he would look at me, I'm paying child support. And that's what blew my mind. He could not see his child, but he's paying this woman money. So how do they calculate child support?
They used to when I got put on child support. I can give my instance. When I got put on child support, I actually went through the process of being incarcerated for abandonment, because my baby mother was mad at me at the time. So I fought the charge for like a year in Gwinnett County, and the only thing I had to do was go to the courts and put myself on child support. They only took into consideration what I was making. Wait
a minute, you said you spent a year
I spent a year, because when I went in front of
jail?
When I went in front of the judge, I snapped. How you gonna tell me
Wait a minute, but you were paying child support.
I was taking care of we were living together before we separated.
And they put you in jail.
Yeah.
She said vengeance is hers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's exactly what the court listened to.
The moment that I moved and I got with another individual, you know what I mean? And to this day, me and her were cool now, but I still haven't got an apology for that. And I pay child support to this day. My baby's 17 and 15. And the thing is, when it comes down to it, like when I went to the school, they don't realize they was talking to the mom, but the child only listens to me. I'm the disciplinary. I'm the one that look at my daughter, and then she get her act together. She ain't gonna even listen to mama. They don't understand it because they're not used to dads being around. Right. But to answer your question, they only go off of what you are making. I think they've changed it now.
Yeah, they changed the law back in 2000. I think that was, which made it a little bit better. But it's based on a percentage of what you make.
Right.
Okay.
So, but what has changed since what's your name, brother?
Oh, Jarvis.
What has changed since Jarvis was initially put on it was now instead of just considering the father's income, they consider both income. So say one person makes $5,000 a month, one person makes $10,000 a month. They combine that and say, okay, 20% of that is child support. You make 30% more than her, so you pay 30% more in child support. Yep. So if you make a lot of money, if you make good money, really you don't have to make a lot of money. You can make like $80,000 a year. And be paying a good chunk of change in child support. You can make $80,000 a year and be paying $1,000 a month in child support if she doesn't make much, or if you can't show that she makes much.
Right.
They base it on how much you make. If you make, if you're doing really well for yourself, you could be paying $30,000 a month in child support.
Exactly.
$30,000.
Yes.
$30,000.
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh. Yes.
For a child, for you not to even have legal rights to your kid, and talk about the fact when we say legal rights. So this is what I want to go, because I had to go dive down the rabbit hole when I went through this. Say if you didn't get your child legitimized and you pass away and you have this big estate, right? And you never got them legitimized.
Yeah, they don't get anything.
The kid doesn't get anything.
Nothing.
Wow.
They're not yours.
And then that's another argument she gonna have with.
Nothing.
This is just one little aspect of what black men go through here in America.
Exactly.
That's one.
Exactly.
This one thing.
This is just one.
One.
And this is one of the most disheartening things, because all we trying to do is raise and love our kids.
Right.
And what they doing is trying to strip us away from the household.
Yeah.
But you'll hear him talk about us in prison.
Right.
But you'll hear him talk about us being dads out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, to your point, one of the things we have to do is start talking about what we go through, because a lot of men, we keep it inside, and because really it's embarrassing to talk. It doesn't feel good for me to talk about this.
Exactly.
My story or anybody's story, because it's very painful, very hurtful. Men have a lot of pride.
Yeah.
And it's emotional. It's emotionally distressful, mentally distressful. And so we have to get past that and tell our stories, because the only stories you hear the stories about deadbeat dads, and that's it.
That's it.
And it's a myth that all black men are out.
Right.
Men, it's not just black men; it's black men and white men that go through this.
Exactly.
Well, all races really.
Yeah.
We're not all deadbeat dads by default. We're not all deadbeat dads, but the deadbeat dads are the minority.
Yeah.
Fathers like me, fathers like all the brothers in this room, we are the majority.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But nobody's talking about. We don't come up in random conversation.
Nope.
Nobody's gonna say, "Hey, Jarvis is a great dad, man."
Never.
And that is I promise. Well, they know that is the reason. When I spoke to you, I told you, my husband inspired me, and from the men in my family inspired me to start this show, because again, I know there are great fathers out here, and even my experience as being a teacher over the years, seeing that. I've witnessed fathers come up there, bring cupcakes for my class, and I will always shout them out, because people don't. I'll be like, Dad brought these, did a party or whatever, because we don't do that, and that's why I'm like, you can't tell me that this world is just full of deadbeat dads. You just can't tell me that. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot more.
I know there are men that are wanting to be so much with their kids and want to do so much, and it hurts me to hear you all, and you're right. Y'all don't talk about this, and I'm assuming because
who you gonna tell?
Yeah.
And how they gonna look at you?
That's another thing, right?
You a grown man. You knew what you was doing.
You knew what you was doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what else will come up in conversations is the percentages of men in jail due to our child support.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about that.
If you put me in jail, how can I pay?
And you still
owe me
in arrears.
Come
out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It never stops accumulating.
They still putting that bread up on you.
It adds up. Why are you in jail?
Why are you in jail?
Oh, so it doesn't stop.
No,
right. So you go back in there.
You remember that 5 I told you I had to go through? What, 10, 15 grand?
While you were in jail.
Yeah.
10, 15
on
grand.
top of
on top of what
you gotta pay.
Yeah.
So it's designed to keep you, because
come on. There
you go.
Come on.
Now you talking.
Now you're talking.
So, and I know that it stops you from getting a passport.
Yes, get your license.
Get your license.
Yeah, like
getting certain.
And most importantly, you feed the federal prison, the federal prison system. Because guess what? You're gonna do that time.
Yeah, you're gonna do the time.
You're gonna do
over
that.
child support.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do that.
Revolving door.
And you're gonna pay that. You know how you supposed to get out child support when they turn 18?
Yeah.
Oh, the Marines got to go. They got to pay that.
You keep paying till they finish
college. Yeah, till they finish college.
My son was 23.
Yeah.
When you start paying,
he
went to school.
Stopped a semester on purpose because he wanted it to end.
So okay, so he stopped going to school so you can stop paying.
We had a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it doesn't make any sense.
So while he was still in school, you still had to pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
On top of paying his college tuition.
Yeah.
On top of it. Yep.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do
we
with
can hit him up. If you need something, hit.
You got mail messages from them, you guys. If you are just tuning in, I have in the studio with me, John Pristell. And I'm blown away because some of this stuff I knew, and some of this I am just learning. Let me read some of these comments. Going back, Takeover said even with legitimation, y'all know the word.
Legitimization.
It just makes it official for you to pay child support. Only opens the door for you to try to get rights that you might not get.
Right.
Let's see. He also says I even had a court order to have visitation right, and she left every time it was time for me to see my kids, so I couldn't see them. Wow.
Yep.
But
you'll have to take that back to court.
Right.
Exactly.
So she can leave.
You'll have to take her back to court to show them that she leaves when you have a court order. It's nothing. It's nothing that just says like if she does this, this is gonna happen.
So wait a minute. So I'm coming. I know legally, and I have the right to go see my child on this day, Saturday or whatnot,
from 12 to 5.
12 to 5. Yeah.
She dips
with the child.
At 11:30.
And she has that right.
No,
she doesn't have the right.
But
if you want to enforce it, you got to.
There you
do
go.
The paperwork, take it to court, spend money, to pay a lawyer.
Talk about it, bro.
Unless you're going to represent yourself,
talk about it.
And if you're going to represent yourself, plan to spend a lot of time researching and reading and writing up all these documents stuff. So let's say for a month straight she doesn't let you see your child, and you say I'm fed up with this. You got to take her to court now, and then the court, that's a process.
Right.
It could be a year before they resolve it.
No, tell the truth, bro. That's an ordeal.
There you go.
And I can imagine things that happened for this past year with the pandemic.
Oh,
so that means
it's been crazy. It's been crazy because the courts are backed up.
Right.
And cases like this are not high priority.
Nope.
They're not high priority. So you can have what you think is a pressing issue that needs to be taken care of during the pandemic, but I mean, it's hard to get a court date.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And all of the men that like I know, like my brother just tuned in. My brother went through this. I went through this. Like a large majority of black men go through this. And the things that bothers me the most, 9 times out of 10, it's because of a breakup, a marriage that didn't go well, a relationship that didn't go down the right road. And the only thing we want to do is to sit back and take care of our kids. I don't want to argue with you about taking care of my kids.
Right.
But the first moment you get to say that I'm a bad dad or I ain't there, they'll put that all on the social media platform to have all these chicks who don't know nothing about nothing come in on it, and then you want to blow up, and then if you act out of character, then they ready to call the cops. It's just it's designed for us to fail.
Yeah, I can see that.
But how can you not get emotional when you're dealing with your kid?
Your kid.
Yeah.
Like all of us don't want to go to the store and get a pack of cigarettes or a loaf of bread.
Thanks.
I mean,
right.
I took a job at my son's school to see him.
Really?
I mean, anybody, you can call him, he'll tell you. He said that was the most craziest thing. You took a job part-time
to go see your son
at the school
just to see your kid.
Because legally I can be there now.
I've heard a few people say already that it's designed that way. Before I went through it myself, I felt like it was punishment, like it's punishment for not marrying the mother of your child, for not staying with the mother of your child.
Yeah.
And then once I started researching it myself, again, I was reading the law, and it so you know how when you write something, you have an intention. Anybody who writes something, you have an intention. There's something in the law called, when laws are being written, legislative intent, right? And when you read the law, you can see the intention. But in the Georgia law, it says flat out, it says marriage is encouraged by law. Marriage is encouraged by law. So being unmarried, and especially being unmarried and having a child, is discouraged. And they put laws in the books that discourage people from being a single dad. Being a single dad.
Yeah.
Not a single mom, but a single dad. It's punitive. It's punitive. Wow. If you're not going to stay with them, if you're not going to stay married, if you're not going to marry the mother of your child, well, then you're going to be slapped with this, that, and the other.
Yep.
It's very intentional. It's very intentional.
Right.
And the killer part is the system doesn't care how it degrades you as a man.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I'm saying specifically man, because women don't have these issues in the system.
At all.
At all. It's like they say, you know what? I see an avenue and funnel to get black men and incarcerate them. This is a way we can do it to get you guys. Let's go for it.
And you know what? You know the crazy part about that, Tank, is people are looking at this like we complaining.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And we just keep it in a whole 1,000.
And it ain't a complaint because I take pride in being a dad. Exactly. I was an unfathered child. So therefore my breaking the cycle was to actually do this and do it well, and not just do it. And the thing is, you're punishing me for by all means necessary taking care of my child, for wanting to be there and just be in their life and just actually be there. You're creating a barrier, and then you're telling her, hey, this is what we can do. They're not negotiating with you.
Right.
And those barriers create deadbeat dads.
Yeah.
I had a friend who he actually ended up prevailing in his case, but he told me early on, and it was a 5-year battle. He told me during the first year of the battle, he said he was sitting on the porch with his cousin or friend, and he said he came to a decision. He said either I'm going to fight this, or I'm going to walk out of my child's life. One or the other. He decided to fight it. He ultimately prevailed over 5 years and $60,000. But had he chosen, had he said, you know what, I can't take it, I'm just walking out, he would have been considered a deadbeat dad. Yep. And he loves his children.
Right.
But everybody would have called him a deadbeat dad because he gave up, because the system was overwhelmed him, and he just couldn't fight it. People would have called him a deadbeat dad.
Because I do know a lot of fathers who, and I've asked this question before, because at first I didn't understand too. I'm like, why didn't you fight? And then, like I said, over time, I'm listening to men, and then one of the popular host in Atlanta, Ryan Cameron, some years ago, he did a special, and he made this there was this case. The mother had been gone for years. The father been taking care of the child. She just walked out for whatever reasons, and I want to say it had been close to 10 years the mother had been gone. She came back into the child's life just like that. They gave the daughter to her. And that's when I first started hearing, and that's when they first started talking about fathers in Georgia don't have any rights.
Right.
And so you could see the comments, like people are like, are you serious? Like 10 years that this child has not talked to the mother. Nobody in the family has talked to the mother, but she came back. I guess she got herself together or whatever, and they awarded the child back to the mother. And so the movement that you have, what is it all about, and what changes are you hoping to see with it?
It's about changing the laws one at a time. One of the first ones we're working to change is changing the legal definition of a father.
Okay.
That'll make a huge impact. Changing that one little thing will basically force them to change so many other laws. So if you change the law to where a legal father is the biological dad, and that's it.
So those words alone, to get y'all to be biological father.
Right. I'm just dad.
Right.
I'm dad. I ain't got to do no paperwork.
Simple words, biological father.
Biological father. That's the first law that I would like to see change, because again, you change the definition of a legal father,
you change a lot.
It's a ripple effect across the whole code.
That's the foundation of everything.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect across the
whole.
I
like that kind of kid. Yeah, just those words.
Yeah. Biological father.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't really think people really realize that
they don't.
Black men are dads.
We're
a hell of a dads.
Right.
Like I don't think they realize like the power of a dad. Period.
So I believe you, but I'm you see my mouth is open. You said those words, biological father.
Right, and the reason why
has to be in that language.
It has to be in the
to
language.
Give y'all some rights. Give y'all rights.
Yeah, basically mirror the definition of a legal mother. A legal mother is the biological mother.
Right.
So,
but the only thing about the dad part is they have to do the DNA testing.
DNA testing for what?
Because with a woman, there's no DNA test needed. The child physically came from you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
With me, I have to prove that I'm the father.
Yeah.
So you have to prove when you know like there's no doubt you still have to have to swab.
Yeah, you swab. And if sometimes if you swab, the chick gonna be like, how dare you? You know this show.
Yeah, Mars show. Basically.
and then the baby ain't yours.
Ain't cut up.
In North Carolina, they do it anyway. State of North Carolina, when child support is applied for the state of North Carolina, they actually go ahead and do the test first,
they do.
Just to see.
Now,
and this is for me back 2008. So they were doing that. So they find out first, and then they go through with the proceedings. See, people like me, all right, I'm cooperative. You see what I mean?
I ain't been swab. I'm the daddy. They're my kids.
I'm like, what I need this.
I know
for.
them.
Okay, just do what you got to do.
Right.
Let's get on with it. Just kind of like that. I'm like, okay, do what you have to do. Cooperate. So even the cooperative father who is being there and wanting to be there and all of that, you still get the short end of the stick. You can be as cooperative as you want to, but at the end of the day, that's the way the state owns you. This is the way the state owns,
and it is like they own it. It is like they own it
as men in general.
Because you're gonna get a little statement every year that shows you how much money they took from you.
Really?
They let you know every year. They let you know.
Like a bank statement.
Yeah, like a bank statement.
Every year they're gonna let you know how much we debited from you directly.
How much in arrears you got left and all that.
I took that.
That's why a lot of men do whatever they can to stay under the radar. Like once you get put on child support,
thank you.
They go off the books.
Go off the books.
All cash.
Yeah.
Put everything in your mom's name.
Yep.
Do whatever they can to
start a business. Put everything in your business name.
Put everything in your business.
Yes.
Nothing attached to your social security.
Nothing.
Yes, sir.
Nothing. Get your EIN. Get your 9-digit social security. I'm telling you.
Because we don't want
it's
to work,
real.
Because we don't want to work so hard just to give it away.
Yeah.
To give it away. So we're like, hey, we're gonna hustle.
Because the moment that level of elevation is acquired, and and
it's not that y'all don't want to pay it.
No, it's that we don't want to be victims.
We don't want to be victims.
Right. And I'm gonna say it for you, brother. When you come up and they see you come up and they watch you come up, or you going back to court again.
Well, I'll say that I don't want to pay it. I don't want to pay child support because I take care of my baby.
Right.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't like it.
I think there should be no child support unless
you're
not doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. And that's what I always thought. Like child support is for those men, because you do have some that's out there. We know that. We know that you do have some of those who just ain't gonna take responsibility.
Right.
So I always thought maybe that's the reason for child support, until again I started hearing these stories like you have good brothers who are trying, and it's like when you start thinking about it, okay, if they're working every week, every day, you only taking so much home, then you got to pay this, you got to pay the child support on top of your living expenses, and you're still taking care of your children.
Yeah.
What?
I'm a whole different dude out here.
I saw one of your videos. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see, but I saw one of your videos where you were looking at the guy who was eating the Roman noodles, the father.
Yeah.
And so that started putting it in a visual, like this is what fathers are going through. They're sacrificing, and no man should have to do that. Everybody, you work hard. You're trying to provide. You're providing for your child, but yet. And that's why I said there are good brothers out here that are doing these things. They're sacrificing for their kids because of this system.
But it's done sometimes on purpose, though.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if go back to what you're saying, if she mad at you, because you moving on, like I was getting married,
imprisonment of the man by the man,
right? And I was asking, hey, can my son be in the wedding? Because to me, he's already coming over every other weekend. I'm already getting him throughout the summer, the whole 9 yards. I want him to be a part of this.
Not to cut you out, but why the hell you got to put a disclaimer when that's your child?
So what you saying? You had to ask about your son being in the wedding.
My best, yes. And because of that, I mean, and I've never said anything negative about his mom, never will, but it was a no, and I couldn't do anything about it.
I want to talk about that too.
Olivia, you said children come first. Can you type what you mean? Because
that's what's supposed to happen, but it doesn't happen. And
it doesn't happen.
And another thing with what he just said, as a man, we have to also abide by a certain set of standards, because we can't say anything negative about these mothers to our kids, because that kid, you can't stop a child from loving their mama.
Right.
I don't care what she do.
You're gonna destroy your relationship by putting those negative things
I don't care what, because
even at this age, you can't tell me nothing about my mom.
Right.
That's mom do.
We gonna fight.
Yeah.
You just got, as a man, you just gotta you just gotta pray and hope. You know what I mean?
So everybody in this room has dealt with child support issues.
I'm on child support with one set of kids, and not my son. I'm not on child support for. Me and him just rock and rolling. But my daughters, I'm on child support for them.
My 13-year-old, I'm on child support right now.
Yep.
Yep.
I paid until 23 for my son, who's 26 now.
And you actually had to. Your son stopped going to school.
I know he did. He would
because
never. We had one of the realest conversations. The reason why you stay in your child's life is because you don't want a human being feeling about you the way some of these kids feel about their dad.
Yeah.
They hate their fathers
because
they were not there in their lives.
Yeah.
There are 40-year-old grown men walking around with virtual footballs and baseballs in their backpack, waiting to throw it to their dad.
Mm-hmm.
This is real.
Yeah.
And people don't understand the power it has when a father has a relationship with their kid.
Yeah. What was the conversation like? You told them about the whole ordeal, the child support ordeal, and all of that, right?
I did, and some of the stuff I didn't have to explain because they send a total every year of what you paid.
Yeah.
He saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
They send it to your son?
No, they send it to you.
Okay, gotcha.
And the thing is, he understood. He was like, I understood some of the stuff you did. Like, you didn't have to get a job at my school. Which, I mean, you had no business being there. But
wow,
that's
take over. Yes, I am. He said, "Let those speak." I am.
This happens a lot.
Yeah,
I can imagine if y'all are saying
this is everyday. This is everyday living. This is like, you know how we been talking about walking out the front door as a black man.
Absolutely,
we walk out the door with this with us every day
because everything that you're doing, you know that. Okay, I gotta grind. I gotta hustle. I can't.
What's hurtful is our black sisters know that we have it harder just in general.
Yeah,
and they still do that.
They still do this.
Yes,
they still do this. They know we have it tougher. They know we have it harder, but they still do this.
We're already at a disadvantage. We're already climbing out the grave.
We sleep with
a friend of mine who's an attorney always told me, "Hey, Tank, as a black man, never avail yourself to the court without representation.
Never.
It's not meant for you. It's not meant to negotiate with you. It's meant to punish you, even in that aspect.
Yes,
the justice.
It's always punishment when it comes. And he's like, I'll show you. And with my situation, he's like, man, I said, this is what it is. The system is so greedy that women use it now to set up.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah. Look,
I wasn't even the kid's father, but she did it because they could not at that time, because we hadn't seen each other in years, locate me. So she was getting benefits.
Yep. The whole time because they couldn't locate you. This is my brother right here. This is my blood brother. You see what he was paying a month?
He said almost $1,800.
I was paying almost $1,800 a month. Do you know what my brother was going through?
Wow.
During that time, having to watch my brother go through that, and I know my brother a good dad.
Yeah.
It infuriates me.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But it ain't nothing we can do, because if we react the way we want to react, we going to prison.
Yeah.
And you know what? When we go to prison, we still losing, brother. Because they still keeping that up on you.
And I understand how a man can snap, because I've been real close.
Exactly.
Real close.
Yeah. Exactly.
The only thing to keep me from doing it, I have something to lose.
Yeah.
I have a lot to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was never on child support, but I was close too. His mother gave me hell over the years.
Really?
So if I was about to snap without the system,
these
dudes was on child support.
So you and your partner made a verbal agreement on what you would do,
and she's still drugging.
So she agreed not to put you on child support, but y'all had a written contract.
There was no written contract. It was I was just there. I was just always there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But she chose not to put you on child support.
She chose not to because I was taking care of him. I was paying the tuition and all that stuff and everything. So
see, a lot of people don't realize you can sit there and put the father in that position, but what you're doing is putting stress on the relationship, because no man wants to be drugged through the mud every phone call.
Yeah.
Right.
Every text message, every time you want to visit, that discourages you as a man. Yeah. And people say, well, you're a man up. How many times must I beat you over the head on a regular basis for you to be like, I don't feel like getting beat today?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm glad you said that.
For my own sanity and for me not to beat myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Those fathers that take the beating every single day. Yeah. It ain't break,
month, brother.
It ain't break. Ain't never do nothing. Brother. They kept taking the beating day after day after day. From the mother, from the sister, from the job, society, from the family, from society, the streets every day.
And all you want to do is just see your child.
And they still up. Still we still here.
And we still here.
Yeah.
We still here.
Accepting that though.
And so,
accepting that.
Yeah.
You know, and people get mad when people like celebrate my last child support payment. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a party.
That's a party.
That's like coming out parole and probation.
Oh
that's
man.
a whole party.
Right.
That's a whole part. Child support is another level of incarceration.
Yeah. I was about to say because it's bigger than what we're used to seeing. Like we're seeing y'all celebrate like wait a minute, he's celebrating not taking care of this child. But no, you're celebrating the fact that I am forced to pay when I'm already taking care of my child. It's and
I guess the most demeaning thing is the fathers that are doing it and want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
It's like telling them, I don't trust you.
And you know what? On top of that, on top of you paying that child support, if those kids need anything additional, the first people they call
is a father.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what the dad gonna say? That's my child.
Okay, I'm gonna get it done.
I got you.
I got you. You made a good point.
I got you.
And I'm talking about
what he said is me. Exactly what he said is me.
Got you.
And then that turns into the gift giving.
Hey, let me ask y'all brothers this. How many of y'all received your child with a laundry list of items to buy?
Oh, me.
Yeah, I have. Every school year.
Yeah.
Every school year.
Now, so I want to ask that question because I remember this, a parent asked me, told me, and she was like, well, you know, how the schools give out the school list of supplies or whatnot. And so she was like, yeah, can you give me a list of things that they need? So
you can get to the phone.
So they can get
to the dad, right? Yeah. And so, you know, no problem. I always give 2 lists, one for the father and one for, you know, the mother, whatnot. So, and then she was like, come back. And she was like, he didn't get everything on this list. Like she literally was talking to me and I'm sitting here like, okay, this is not a parent conference, but okay, so what you want me to do, right? And so she literally was telling, she's like, can you call him and tell him what? I said, no, ma'am, I can't, because if you've given him the list. So I don't know if she wanted me to give him extra stuff to buy or whatever, but I knew that she was up to something, you know, that wasn't right. So you all buy school supplies, right? Because I'm saying y'all do, because I've seen fathers buy school supplies, you guys, fathers do.
School supplies in my closet right now.
Does that come out of the child support or is that
extra?
So what does the child support
go to the mama? I can't be paying
directly.
It go directly to the mama's account.
So what is she supposed to do with the child support?
Take care of the child.
Right,
child support.
She's supposed to buy so our child. We buy products for our children.
Okay.
We buy healthcare, childcare. We buy food, provide shelter.
So it gives you a list with.
No, it doesn't give you a list, but that's what it's supposed to be used for.
Okay.
You know,
so it's supposed to be used for.
Food, clothing, shelter, healthcare,
okay,
childcare. You know, everything, all the products that's what we do for our children. We buy products for our children. That's how we take care of it.
Right.
And that's what it's supposed to be used for. But another thing, child support also affects, it affects how often you can see your child, because so unfortunately the system puts a price tag on your child to make it so a child can be profitable. You know, they make it so a child can be profitable. So there's an incentive for a parent to keep the child away from the other parent, because they know, well, if I have the child, well, then that's $1,500 a month for me. So then, so that makes child custody cases a lot more contentious. I guarantee you, if you couldn't make a profit off of a child, right? If you couldn't make a single penny off of a child, then child custody cases would be they wouldn't be nearly as contentious.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be nearly as contentious.
So the system takes us a percentage of the support.
Say again?
The system takes a percentage of the support?
Yes.
Well, yeah, yes. That's something I learned. Yeah, that's something I learned when I got my
first. That's the basis.
I wonder how much.
I think it's like 1.5. They take something like administrative fee.
Correct.
Yeah, I remember when I saw that.
I
remember when I saw that.
Every state, Johnny Prince. That's why they don't want you personally giving her money.
Right.
It has to pass through them.
Right. They get a percentage.
So the child really doesn't get the full $1,500.
No, they get it. But they
still you still get that on top of that.
Yeah, you get it on top of that.
Plus arrears if you owe arrears. So my statement looks like this: child support, administrative fee, arrears, every check.
And that administrative fee is only like maybe $250 a month or something like that, but times 350,000 men on child support.
Yes,
every month.
$250.
It might be $2.50.
$2.50
times all of the men on child support.
Yeah,
that's profit.
Oh, so when you're on child support, it's the support, the fee, and whatever else.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you pay child support like every week, like mine comes out every week. That fee comes out every week. 250, 250.
But you do it every week to keep the interest.
Chef said we as black men got to be wiser. The system working that money don't go directly to the parents.
It's not being wise because the one thing is you can't tell me anything about loving my kid.
Yeah.
Because I love them, I'm subjecting myself to this.
Yeah.
The other option is to completely walk away and have another human hating you.
Yeah.
We gotta start at the ground level when it comes to being wise. Like we gotta start talking to our young men earlier about having sex and having kids out of and not being married and what the real ramifications of it is.
And that was gonna be my next question. Bimp says I'm working 7 days a week just to make sure my kids are good. Yes, I still help the grown ones too.
And he ain't lying.
And 15 hours.
No rest.
You heard what he said. 7 days a week.
When are we resting? My son is 20 and I haven't rested in 21 years.
Thank you.
Because
I'm tired.
Yeah.
And we can't be tired.
And
bro.
we can't be tired.
No, we can't be tired.
We have no option of that.
Wow.
We have no option.
So what are the mothers in you all's lives?
Oh my God.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, what is the conversation about this? Because I know that they're listening to the people on the street and they're listening to the girl. Because I actually had a family member who Olivia said that's what a father's supposed to do. Okay, so we're gonna clear that up because these fathers are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
What are we supposed to be doing?
So let me tell this story. I'm gonna let y'all because I know y'all ready for that. Because I know y'all hear this all the time. So this father I know personally was paying child support faithfully. Didn't have a problem with it, and on top of taking care of it, like you said, like all you're saying. This woman deliberately went to two counties and filed child support in the extra county. They did not give him any warning or whatnot. He was married. They took his wife's tax return because they filed joint.
Yeah.
She had no idea.
Wow.
The father had no idea. So his son ended up getting the IRS account check, plus on top of the child support from one county here in Georgia and another county, Fulton and DeKalb County.
Is that legal?
And he did not find out until
that's legal.
She got the IRS statement because she was waiting on the check for their child, and it explained that child support in this county had been taken out. And that started a whole nother process because now he had to, like you said, go to court to prove that he was already on child support for like umpteen amount of years. But because she could finesse the system, she went to another and got more money. And that was, so what is this? So Olivia, is that what a mother's
supposed to do?
She said that's what
is that what a mother's supposed to do?
Could I please
take care of your child?
Could I please, if you have to be listening to this show. According to what we are saying, we're speaking about fathers who take care of their kids. We're not talking about what fathers are supposed to do versus what they're not supposed to do. That has absolutely nothing to do with this conversation at all. We're talking about the fact that we are put up against an obstacle that we have to create opportunities to survive in.
That you don't.
And the thing is, I'm pretty sure this man is sitting across from me with his daughter in the studio with him.
Yeah.
Right.
During the course of an interview talking about these things. And this is what we have to deal with out here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part because this is what we have to deal with. And we got to put disclaimers up and have a conversation about the fact that that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, if that's what I'm supposed to do, then I need for all of the women who got kids, stop using them for a check.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Now, and before you speak again, every brother in this room, handling their business with their kids.
Takeover said yes, but the same dads that do take care of his child, there are kids, mom, that are not allowing them to see their kid.
Yeah,
they're used as revenge and pawn pieces in the revenge game. Because I'm mad at you.
Lisa says she has to sign a spousal waiver stating that she doesn't incur his premarital debt. She had to do it with her ex-husband. I think that's when the law started changing here in Georgia about the joint filing. You have to sign those waivers because that was happening. These women were going to 2-3 counties and filing, and the men had no idea, and it's It's Olivia said, put your personal feelings aside and deal with the mama and not have the courts involved.
Come on, baby.
I tried that. Hey, look, you know, we're not getting into you know what? We're not gonna even think about that.
No.
But you know what?
You tried that, right?
Let me tell you.
I know you tried that.
When I say tried that, the try and the fail is all in the same game. When a woman's scoring and a woman who in her feelings who want to get something done, no matter if you tried or not, she ain't hearing all of that. And then 10 years later, she want to have that conversation about she apologized.
Yeah.
I've already lived through that apology.
Yeah. Exactly. And Lisa said you cannot do that with certain men. There's some that are not going to that, but we're talking about the fathers that are literally that are working and that are actually, you know, out here doing this.
Debbie dads are the minority.
Yeah,
we are the majority.
Debbie dads are the minority. Yeah,
this isn't 1970 where dad lived across the street and we never knew it. This ain't them times no more. Cats actually want to be in their kids' lives
because we didn't have dads growing up.
That's right.
Do you understand the struggles that?
And I think Olivia, they don't have a choice about not having the courts involved because the mother put you all on child support.
She pushed the issue.
They set the system up so she can. They let her know, hey, you can win with us.
Hey, look, let me tell you, if the women that are out here will go and do research on how to drag a man through the court system. Research and won't even do research how to get a business started and make it happen for themselves. Because and then you wondering why you see a lot of these people. I'm gonna give you an example. We can just talk about right now. What is everybody talking about on social media? How this certain individual got so many kids, she can get $1,400 a month for each child, and this, that, and third. That is talking about kids and fathers who are probably taking care of them kids. But the mama gonna get all that money. You ain't heard them say not one thing about no dad.
Right.
Not one thing about no dad. What we get?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every other week.
And if you owe child support, you don't get it.
Say it again, brother.
You get to see it. The standard is seeing them every other weekend.
Every other weekend.
That's where you start when you walk into court. That's where they start.
Every other week.
Every other weekend. Every other weekend.
Saturday and Sunday.
2 weekends a month.
So her question. So Keela says on Instagram, sometimes child support is best because if some men give money, he may not be consistent and taking care of the kids. And taking care of kids is consistent. It's sad, but your homeboys messed it up for the ones that handle their business. And believe me, some men be scorned and bitter. And she says the key is if you know if the women is what the women are like. Put yourself on child support and then go to family court and get part custody of your kids because family court is different from child support.
Correct. But as a mother, do you understand what you're saying? You telling me that when I know this is my child, that I have to subject myself to being humiliated when it's not necessary.
So Olivia says, what type of women are you dealing with? So Olivia, if you were listening earlier, this brother who's on, he was married. And I know I've seen women change up and situations change. And a lot of men were married or were in good relationships. I could tell you firsthand, like I said, being a teacher, I've seen women come in with the intent of maliciously.
Malicious, yes.
I'm going to get him because somebody done told me that I can get a lot of money, this, that, and other. I've witnessed that.
The only way we're going to win is if a woman speak for us, bro. That's the only way we're going to get any kind of justice if a woman speak for us.
And I was going to say, this affects women too. We need women to be a part of the movement as well.
Exactly.
You guys mentioned how women who are married to fathers who are on child support, how it's taking money out of their child support, out of their household. I have a friend who had a child when he was like 25, and he got married later on, had 3 more kids, and $1,000 a month are coming out of their household, going to his first son. $1,000 a month, leaving their household. So it's affecting not only, it doesn't affect just men, it affects women as well.
Right.
And there are a lot of women out there who are daddy's girls, love their dad, but only saw their dad every other weekend growing up because that's what was imposed upon them.
Yeah.
This affects women as well. So we need to have women as a part of the movement as well, who realize how important it is for us to change these laws. It's very important to have women as part of the movement.
So the comments were from Lisa says, I'm the unicorn woman. I understand this conversation and wish we could rectify it rectify it for good. Magnetic Vortex says, for a large percentage of women, marriage is like landing a dream job. Then a couple of years later, demand and have ownership in the business that hired you. Family law overwhelmingly favors women. Takeover says, bro, that's bull. It hurt me that I even have courts involved and was taking care of them. And she denied me from seeing my kids because I got married and my kids were calling her mom. Wow. Lynette says, we as women have to realize that her relationship with the child's father has nothing to do with the relationship he has with his child. And I think that is women don't separate that. They don't separate that because, again, your relationship with your spouse may be just blah, but you are the best dad ever to this child, right? And we do be in our feelings with that.
You might be saying something for a second, because I see that this is a touchy situation.
Oh yeah, it pissed me off.
I'm trying not to get mad. I'm like
this. But I want to ask a real question to the people who are not seeing it a certain way. We're not trying to push a narrative or anything like that. First of all, and I'm going to speak for me. My daughter lives in another state. I'm in Georgia. My daughter's in North Carolina. Okay. Been there the whole time, taking care. You know, that laundry list of stuff that she asked for? I get that. I send it off. That's shipping. I got to send that off every time. Anytime she asks, I'm getting it. Because that's my princess, okay? Yeah. And as God is my witness, I'm going to bat every day.
Yeah.
I do this right now. And I'm sure all the brothers in this room do this for one common goal and one common reason. Because the reason why we say it's bigger than us is because we know the challenges that are set before us when we sleep. Not when we walk out the door. That's just the tip of the iceberg. When we sleep, we can't even rest easy because we have that whole held over our heads every day.
Yeah.
So for the parents out there who are not really seeing it from the other side and looking at it both ways from different perspectives here.
Yeah.
Do you know how it feels?
Yeah.
To have your child in another state, and the only reason why you moved to that state is because so you can create a better life so that she can come into it. Yeah. And I'm speaking that my situation for my daughter.
Yeah.
I moved here so I can have a better life.
Yeah.
And be able to do more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason why I did that.
Yeah.
You know what it was taken as? Running away from my responsibility. No, that's not what I came here to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody asked me that question. Nobody cared to ask me that question.
Yeah.
Do you know how it feels to every time you see her and you have to leave to travel a long way back to the state that you live in and you reside in, that you have to make this better live in? You cry your eyes out because you can't take her with you.
Yeah.
Because I have to go through the legal process.
They don't believe you cry, bro.
Have to go through the legal process.
Yeah. They don't believe you cry, bro.
Do you?
They don't believe we cry, bro.
Your children will have you on the floor, boo hoo.
Yeah, they don't believe. They don't believe that. Yeah. They don't see that.
Nobody does.
No, they don't see that.
But in the same token, after all that being said, we're supposed to man up.
Yeah.
But what are we manning up for? Are we manning up for parenting, or are we manning up for the justice system's stimulus check?
Yeah. Manning up to me is standing up against the system. I mean, that's what manning up is.
Right.
Don't be quiet.
Right.
Don't be quiet.
Right. Don't. Yeah.
And even though it hurts, fight through it. Fight through it. If you can't afford a lawyer, represent yourself.
Yeah.
Do the research. You have to stand up.
Magnetic said a recent Brookings Institute poll shows women initiate 84% of divorce. And Todd, in response to Olivia, says sometimes the court is the only option for the father because dealing with the mother is unproductive and can be detrimental to the child. Magnetic says, by the way, I'm a woman and a practicing attorney.
Salute to you, Queen.
Thank you so much. Yes. Lisa said that's a good dad or a good man. Make it happen by any means. We need more of this fight and more women to understand that it hurts both ways, the man and the child. Chef says they always think we're running because we want to grow, and again, and you're right. That's the purpose of the show, because it's from you all. It's not from women, and that's the issue that I have sometimes with women, with us, because we think we know what you all are feeling and dealing with, and we really don't understand until we actually talk to y'all. Because again, I'm sitting in a room full of men that are hard workers, business owners. This father has his child with him, and I know other fathers that I'm surrounded by, and you can't tell me that y'all not doing what you're supposed to do.
You see it with your own 2 eyes.
I look at my brothers who one is like literally, he doesn't get any sleep. And I'm like, dude, when you go, he's like, I'm up here, I'm painting, I'm doing what I got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he got to have this, that, another. And the whole time I think, well, aren't you paying the extra child support? He's like, no, that's not enough. And it's not that they don't want to take care. It's not that y'all don't want to take care. You just want us to understand in this fight. And I can see that, like, if we could educate each other and help. And again, we're not saying there are some dads out there who just don't give a flying fluke, and they're going to rip with what they sow. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, that's the minority. Mm-hmm. This is the majority, and we don't give y'all that platform to talk about these things. Like, it hurts me. It really does hurt me. Takeover said child support has hit me so hard. I've illegally done things so that I can pay for my kids financially. I'm 100% disabled and couldn't walk or work for years until now. $400 a month. So you telling me I need to still man up?
Let me get that pack.
And they wonder why we get out there and hustle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why we get out there and grind. Why put my life on the line?
Magneta said, practicing law, I've learned most women don't care about your struggles. They just hang out at the finish line and pick the winners.
Can we get a bomb for that?
Wow. And that's a woman who was saying the same thing. It's like, those are facts. I've heard women say, like, it was like a goal of theirs to destroy y'all because of child support. Absolutely. It's like they're making their life destroyed. Like they're working, you know, this is their paycheck.
They know that the system is a way to do it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, nobody's stopping this.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine giving us an avenue just to pick.
Yeah.
And it's a guaranteed way to do it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't call me this, that, because I'm going through the legal system. That's not fair.
I like
Lynette said, just as much as we stand behind Black mothers, we have to start standing behind and up for Black fathers. And that is what I'm saying. We got to stand up for you guys. Yeah. And like, I would not advise young men to marry nowadays. You're right, and we have to start that.
That's a whole nother story.
Hey, look, that's a whole. And you know what? And women wonder why.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother show.
Yeah. Olivia, I know they're not saying all women, but the majority of people.
I want her to reverse that narrative.
Yeah,
not all men. What you're saying? Not all men.
Yeah,
we're not saying all women, but reverse your narrative. Stop one way thinking it.
Yeah.
Look at it from both sides. I agree with you, Magnetic. I see exactly why.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of marriage.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. And terrified.
To be totally
honest,
have
to support and listen to our men, and we do. And I can't talk for you all because I'm not a father. I don't have any children. I've never been through it. But the majority of men that I know who are college educated or business owners or whatever the case may be are not deadbeat dads.
They sit in this room.
Talk to your friends. Yeah. Talk to some of your
friends. Talk to your sister. At your women's conference. Talk about this at your women's conference.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Like if you get women in the room and they get a little, drinking and start talking about and get a little, they'll tell you like, girl, I got him on.
Exactly. I mean, they'll give it up.
It's like a badge to show I got him under.
So she said Black women have been holding it down for years. Ooh. That's gonna be another.
What you said? What said Sean?
She said Black women have been holding it down for years. I don't think that has anything to do with.
So have we?
Hey, you know what? We you right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, don't do that.
No.
I see what you're saying.
You're right.
Yeah. Because I'm not this is what we have to deal with. I'm not gonna win a verbal warfare. We're trying to create a visibility for something that we're experiencing, and we're just trying to get people aboard on the train with us so we can make stuff happen. This brother over here is trying to reinvent and change laws to assist the black father. We only want the verbiage to change. We want to be biologically dads just like you.
And that's the key that we all again, and Lisa said true, but I cannot hold it down without my man.
Come on,
talk about it. Talk about it, Lisa.
She's Netta said, I've learned modern women want the power and benefits of a man, the privilege and entitlement of a woman, and the responsibility and accountability of a child. Yeah, I'm gonna put that up for a post.
Write that down, please.
I'm gonna put. I gotta repost
the responsibilities and accountability of a child.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And a woman wrote that.
Can you email that to me?
Yeah. Could you please email
I need a picture of that. I'm gonna put that up, and I'm gonna make you famous. Wow.
But the thing is, I have to be honest. Sometimes, in the end, things, and the sad part about it, things didn't get better until the relationship between me and my son's mother got better. The maturity level had to go up on both, and I have to say on both ends, because I knew what got us to this point, but at the same time, we both should have said, "Hey, this ain't got nothing to do with our child."
Yeah,
nothing.
This needs to be, and we got there to that point. And the cool part about it is when you keep fighting and you keep going through it. My son is 26. I'm about to be a grandpa. And my grandson's name is Jermaine Carson Jr. For your kid to honor you like that, tells you the relationship you have with
Absolutely.
Them. And I tell people like you're not. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say it. Here's my son number. Call him.
Yeah.
Because when you have a kid who doesn't like their dad because they were not there, that's a vicious conversation.
Vicious.
You hear it every time they talk about them, every time they text. I don't care what
carry
it is.
themselves.
You're
angry.
You're a coach. How many kids in sports you meet with no dad and the attitude and energy?
75 to 80% of them.
But you wondering why there are no good men out there where are the good men to be married? Let us in their lives and let us be dads and watch how it changes.
Yep.
We don't talk about the percentage of women that keeps them out the loud. That puts the system in place to keep them at bay, to keep them away.
Yeah. And try to put that deadbeat dad in their life and try to make him daddy.
And then when they grow up, they're 18, 19, 20, they develop their opinion, not really knowing the whole story. The whole truth.
It's on one side.
It's all one side.
And then you as a dad got to sit there and explain.
Exactly.
And you can't bash mom even then.
You can't bash mom.
Don't bash mom. Don't bash mom. But mom bashed you though.
Mom bashed you though.
She bashed you though.
Mom bashed you.
She bashed you big time, but you can't bash her. No, how dare you?
How dare
you?
And work
you know what?
and
I'm gonna say this, and I gotta make sure I get this out. Be in this conversation. You just talked about the bashing. Every time I try to have a positive, cool conversation, level-headed conversation with my daughter's mother, it's always even if it's a text, tell she's angry, like. And then I have to ask, I sit there and ask, wait, I thought we were talking about getting her supplies and certain things. Yeah. Why are you so angry with me? Aren't we supposed to be coming to a common ground with getting my daughter some stuff? Can we get our daughter some stuff? Why are you so angry? But understand this, okay? For a father who loves his daughter so much and will give the world and give everything to her. For me to have a lighthearted conversation about just getting stuff, the essentials, right? Yeah. Which technically, as we said by law, are gifts, right? Still, I have to deal with being called boy. I'm less of a man. I'm called X, Y, Z, and LMNOP out of my name. And I still show you respect over the years, still show you respect when I could have snapped way back when I could have easily snapped. When you try to see your child and you get blocked in the parking lot because you just simply have to leave and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All because of seeing your child. You met up, you get blocked in the parking lot to cause a scene.
Yeah.
You get blocked in your parking space, so you can't back out, so you got to be late to work. And you gotta take a attendance point or however they do things. Your boss got to look at you sideways because you're late to work. You about to lose your job that's paying the support anyway. Like, it's a revolving door.
And Olivia, I think that's and again, she says parents need to come together, put your personal feelings aside, and work with your mom. And that's what they're wanting. Like none of these men and none of the men that I know
was trying.
Yeah, like they're wanting a good relationship with the father, and I think Lynette said a hurt woman is a dangerous person. That's a fact. I know that, but I'm in the shit by myself.
We can go through history.
Oh yeah,
through history of the countries and
you can go all the way to Bathsheba.
Oh, that destroyed.
I know a little bit about a lot.
Exactly.
You feel
all the way back.
We can go all the way back.
Yeah.
I know, because I'm one of them scoring women.
Women have done whatever needs to be done to secure the
Mad ain't even the word.
It ain't gotta be mad. It just have to be something she wants. And if she wants it bad enough, she will do it.
Man, let me tell you something, man. We're the Me Too movement, man. You better stop talking about these women, bro.
Well, I apologize.
Stop talking about these women, bro. They're gonna be at our neck.
I'm just talking about history.
You know what though? We don't really care.
I'm not talking about nothing else.
Right.
These are facts that are there. Rome was destroyed.
Yeah.
And something with hips had something to do with it. It was gone.
Hey, he dead for real.
But I'm saying though, we don't recognize that she stood there in that pose.
That's facts.
Yeah. And we were powerless against
let's be
honest.
Yeah.
And we still powerless against it.
I can admit.
Yeah.
Man, we to a certain point we don't have power. But women have a hand on us though.
Yeah.
It's like they have a hand on our head. Hey, I got just a little touch on you.
I want to tell y'all women something. Y'all work so hard to obtain the power that you already have.
Got it.
Yeah.
From birth.
Y'all don't even have to work that hard.
Birth.
Y'all really working against yourself because now you're just trying to meander into a lane that you already respected. I mean, the ones that get disrespected, you put yourself in a position to get disrespected. Yeah. Have you ever been disrespected in the midst of us? Ever?
No, because
we hold you to a high regard.
Yeah, because y'all already know that I give y'all the wow.
I pat somebody out about
it. I'll give y'all the wow.
And you know what? Your husband know that.
Yeah, and I've learned to call on him now. I'll be like, baby. Somebody just disrespected me. What
exactly.
You gonna do?
And you know what?
I'm learning shit.
How I know mothers like are really vindictive with this thing. And in a lot of cases, you're getting less than what he was already giving you before this thing, right?
Yeah.
So they still
fight yourself.
But they do it on purpose because, like, you know what? It ain't even about that. It's about getting him.
Yeah.
Bringing him down.
They are real men and not grown boys.
They don't think about that. They don't think, you know what? He giving me $700 a month.
And when I put him on child, put him on get four.
Yeah. And you mad
3 or 2 or something like that.
But I'm gonna refile next month.
Yeah. Hey, look, what is it? Every 3 years? Is it every 3 years, brother?
I think it's every 2.
It's every 2 years. You can come up for a review. Every 2 years, they can bring you back for a review for your child support.
Yeah, every 2 years, I'm under the table.
Every 2 years, I'm under the table.
I'm gonna hold this grudge for 2 years.
Let me tell y'all women something. That's the reason we out here and grind like we do. That's the reason I own 3-4 businesses and do everything I do, and I don't sleep. I'd rather get bags in front of my eyes and grind it because I'm gonna leave this same legacy for my children.
That's right.
Trying to keep
Are y'all reading some of the comments? Lisa says some men are slaves to the negative connotations of society. It takes a change of mindset as women and men to do by our children as a whole.
Facts.
Conversation and communication are so necessary. It's a mindset.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Takeover. He's talking about one of my kids' mom came to my job and jumped on me after stepping out on me. Called me a dead dad, and that same day almost killed. Wow, for saying it. Oh wow. And okay. My dad is deceased. My half siblings wish they had a relationship with my dad. My mom never talked bad about my dad and always allowed us to see him. And you were blessed. That's a blessing.
You're blessed.
Again, different relationships. Magneta said in the courts, most men don't understand they can defend or help themselves by presenting Peer-reviewed studies. Malicious mommy syndrome and parental alienation are real, but rarely used.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a misconception that in order for you to get your child, you have to prove that she's an unfit mother. That's not technically. I mean, it may look like that when you go to court, but the law says what you have to show is that there has been a material change in circumstances, and there's a list of things based on case law that you can point to say, hey, there's been a material change in circumstances. Maybe she's in school now, things have changed. Maybe financial situation has changed. Maybe the mother's behavior. That's you can go to court and you can win. It's hard.
Okay.
But it's not. You don't have to prove that she's an unfit mother. There are a whole list of things that you can prove, that you can show to say
that's the opposite.
Yeah, this is why I should be the primary.
Okay. So basically, you're turning the scenario around with the good, good things. Like, well, you know what? She's unable to provide because she's in school full time. Such a things like that. That's what you're saying. Like,
or it could be just something like, okay, she's about to start school, and the current custody situation that we have now is just not going to work for her. That's a material change right there.
Right. Okay.
Maybe it could be something like maybe over the course of these last 2 years she's been invading your privacy, right? Invading your parenting time. That's a material change in circumstance.
Oh, wow.
You have to come up with a list of them. They're not going to go for just one.
Okay.
You got most of the time you got to go come up with put a story together.
Wow. Okay. Or like you got another job or something.
And,
you have to compile
and you can win. It's hard. You have to stick to it.
Right.
But it's not the misconception that you have to prove that she's a crackhead. That's not true.
No.
Okay.
You got to become a whole attorney.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do your research.
So, okay, so I know this is a great conversation, and this is not going to be the end of the conversation, but before we wrap things up, it's not time, but I want us to become a little bit more familiar with your movement.
Yes.
What is it that you need from both men and women and for your movement?
Well, we need to build a coalition. Anytime, if you look throughout history, anytime there's been major change, a coalition is built from the grassroots. And you look back, to our leaders of the past. Yeah, it's building a coalition. So we need a coalition of men and women. This is not just a man's issue; it's primarily a man's issue. But we need men and women as part of the movement. And our goal is to change these laws one at a time.
Right.
Starting with number one, changing the definition of a legal father.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I start with that one is because I couldn't think of a good argument against it. How would you? I was trying to think of a good argument. I was asking people, how would you argue against changing the legal definition of a father to where the biological dad is the dad? Period. Right. And the best thing somebody could come up with, well, you can pull a Donald Trump and just lie, but there's no logical argument against it. So that's, I want to do that. I also want to, and I have 3 petitions out there, supporting these, changing the definition of a legal father, changing it to where, you have 50-50 custody from the start. That's where you start. Right now you start with nothing. We want to start to where you go in the court and you're starting at 50-50, and then we can deviate from there if the circumstances deem necessary. Deemed necessary. And then when it comes to child support, number one, I believe there should be no child support unless it's been shown that you're not taking care of your child, right? And if you are put on child support, it should be based on the actual expenses, not how much you make.
Yeah.
And for married people, there's a trigger for the court system to come into your business as far as your children. That trigger is you've been accused of neglect, of not being responsible for your children, and then the court will come into your business. And I think it should be the same for if you're not married. They don't get into your business unless they can prove that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. It's an equal rights issue. It really is an equal rights issue. When I was married, nobody was in my business. The only way the court would get into my business is if somebody was to raise their hand and say, hey, Mr. Pristell over there, he's abusing his child, he's not taking care of him, not giving him food. Then the court would come in and do an investigation. I get charged, and if I was found guilty, then I get punished. Right. It should be the same for single parents. It should be the same. Don't come into my business about raising my child, about how I allocate resources for my child, unless you can show. Unless you can show that I'm not taking care of my child. Right. It's an equal rights issue. So those are the I think the top 3 things I want to start with, and I need people to go to my website, www.peaceofjustice.org. That's PEACE of justice.org, and you'll see a link on there that says petitions, and there's 3 of them up there so far.
Peaceofjustice.org.
Yes, peaceofjustice.org. That's PEACE of justice.org.
Okay.
And you can there's a button on there to join the coalition, and there's also a button on there to sign the petitions. You can't do anything without the support of the people. Right. Politicians do not listen to 1 or 2 people. They listen to hundreds of thousands of people. And that's what we need to do. We need to build a movement of hundreds of thousands of people and demand that these laws be changed. It's when you look at it, it's if you read the law and understand the law, it's clearly wrong. It's clearly wrong. And you'll see in our history that there's been other times when, even now, on issues other than this one, you can read the law and you can see it's clearly wrong, but sometimes it takes so long to change because nobody does anything. Nobody organizes. We don't organize. As soon as you organize and say, no, this is wrong, we demand that it changes, you might have to fight for a few years, but it'll change. And that's what we need. We need a coalition. We need boots on the ground. We need to show up in these politicians' faces and demand that it change, and tell them how you want it changed. Don't say, hey, this is don't, because right now people say, hey, it's unfair. Right. We need to specifically know what laws we want to change. That's why I'm breaking it down per law. Change that law. Okay. Change that law. Change that law. Because if you just tell them to do it, they're gonna go in the back room and just kind of, just put something together and not really change much. That's what happened in 2000 when they changed the law just a tiny bit. They changed it just to make it look like it was helping us out a little bit, but they really didn't help us out very much at all.
Gotcha.
Wow. So you guys, I put it in the put the website peaceofjustice.org. And so there we can go and sign the petition, right?
You sign the petition. There are 3 petitions.
Okay.
You sign the 3 petitions, and there's a button on there to join the coalition as well. Yep. And join that coalition, that adds you to the email list.
Okay. And so from there, you're doing this out of pocket, right?
I am doing it out of pocket, but there's also a link on there to purchase merchandise. I have T-shirts, I have mugs, I have that's mainly where I have T-shirts and mugs with my logo on there and with my website on there, so that proceeds from that can go towards promoting the movement, because it takes money to get the word out there. Right. That's why I'm so grateful for you having me on the show, because I know it takes money to get the word out there like that. So
when I tell you this is so needed, because what people are not understanding, so you're funding this movement, which is needed, and on top of you paying child support and still fighting for your own right.
Correct.
You're doing all of this.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not a deadbeat dad.
No.
With your child sitting
next to you.
Right here, yeah.
You're not a deadbeat dad.
She go everywhere with me.
See what I mean?
Wow.
She go everywhere with me.
You put your child through college, and y'all done had the conversation. You getting statements. You're not a deadbeat dad. You went to jail.
Still coming home.
Coming home.
I just had a whole parent-teacher conference with my 2 daughters yesterday about
and you still paying child support.
Still to this day.
And you still got that on your record.
Still to this day.
It's still prohibiting you from doing things.
Still to this day.
But you're not a deadbeat dad. You're traveling back and forth where people don't understand, and running your business.
And still working
full time. Still making provisions for your daughter.
Still getting caught up.
Because y'all talk about y'all kids. That I'm big auntie, because I know the kids.
Everybody.
Because I know. And you done been through. Your child now is 20, right?
20 years old.
And you still being father.
Yep.
Dealing with and dealing on top of your other
things,
personal issues.
Yes. Yep.
Like, and again, this is
yeah.
Woo!
And they just call me mental health, man.
Exactly.
I'm living in a traumatic world.
And Keela said, because once again, they are grown men, not grown boys. And we have to make that clear.
That's right.
Y'all are grown men who let's make that clear, who want to be fathers and have no issue. Not one I have never heard you all complain. Not even the men that I know have never complained about being a father. You can hear the tiredness in your voice.
That's right.
Which we need to understand. Y'all are tired too. So I can literally vouch for every one of you all that I've never heard you all complain about being a father.
That's right.
If anything, remember, I always tell y'all need to take a break. But you can't. If y'all are traveling back and forth.
Yeah.
like literally doing all these things, how can y'all be deadbeat dads?
And it's plenty of us out there.
It's plenty of y'all.
It's just that your vibration and your perception refuses to.
What do you mean that you can get it removed, Olivia? What can you get removed?
The show's over. We're not even listening.
Carney said there are absolutely great dads out there. Don't believe the stories. Thank you for this major dads.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, because again, this is the purpose of, because we're not highlighting those deadbeat dads. I want us to continue to do is be that advocate and be that voice for those fathers who are, because every Father's Day, I believe in Father's Day, and I believe in highlighting good fathers. And I need to step up my game this year, y'all. I'm do a little bit more, but I always say pray for those men who are unable to be fathers. And I say that because again, you had to be taught how to be fathers. You know, I know no parent comes with a parent handbook, right?
Nope.
So my thing is, it's up to us to start to teach, and you don't have to beat anybody, but guide them. Like you said, tell these young men, hey, if you have unprotected sex, 99.9% of the time you're gonna come out with something, a baby disease or something, and this is what's gonna come with that. So if you're not ready financially, you're not ready. Mentally, we need to educate these young men and women.
Absolutely.
But educate these young men to say, hey, this fatherhood thing ain't no joke. You got to do this. This is your life 24/7. And you have to make that known that, hey, the mother is going to be there 24/7 and she's going to need you. And the communication, like, I think that we have to start teaching, bring it back. It's like, okay, let's teach this new generation, because they're going to still have babies. We already know that kids can still gonna have babies. Right. So, but we have to educate these youngins, and even just take the brother, say, hey, look, step up your game, do it. Because we can't keep categorizing y'all as deadbeat dads. No. That's so untrue.
Shouts to the deadbeat moms out there, man. Word up. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Shouts to the great moms out there.
Shouts to the great moms.
Hey, Erica.
Yeah.
Hey, Erica. That's right. Yeah. Erica says, shout out to the fathers that are daddies.
In the midst of all that we go through, we still honor our queen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have never spoken down on a woman.
No.
We hold them to a high court, and we hold them to such a high standard. We require them to hold themselves to a high standard.
Exactly.
Don't let that go over your head.
Man. I salute great fathers. There's no way we can have a good discussion without acknowledging the good mothers. And we do. We always acknowledge the mothers, but let's be honest, we don't never acknowledge y'all.
Never acknowledge the good fathers. No.
We don't.
Never.
And I can personally say that.
They'll shut the city down.
Oh yeah. Not Father's Day.
Father's Day is just we'll get some cologne to tie. You know what I mean?
And again, we know that all mothers are not trying to take their fathers to court, but the majority, they're taking their.
I mean, do you agree that not all fathers are deadbeats? Can we get you to agree on that?
That's all we want. That's all we want.
Can we get you to agree on that? That all fathers,
the majority or not?
The majority. There you go, my
brother.
The majority of fathers.
Can we get that OG Allegra?
Yeah.
What's her name? I'm sorry.
OB?
That's Olivia.
Olivia.
She said I mentioned that you can remove his misdemeanor off his record.
I ain't got no misdemeanors, babe. I'm big time anything.
Oh. He big time. He big time. He can't. The things he got, he can't get.
I know about the expulsion process. I know about all that, but you gotta watch some more shows.
Yeah, you gotta watch what's going on. You gotta go back in the catalog.
You gotta go back in the catalog.
Right, Keela? We need to have a convention of all of y'all, because honestly, y'all are working, y'all are hard, and like I said, not just in the studio, but I know so many, and then again, a lot of y'all don't talk about it because
none of us got hit by.
Are you going to cry?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We're gonna look at each other and be like, bro, ain't nobody hearing that.
Ain't nobody hearing that.
It's gonna come out like.
None of us got to where we are right now by complaining.
None of us.
You can't. My hand is one right here.
No, none of us.
And I'm just saying this with love. By women, you're told you a grown man.
Yeah.
Get up off your and keep moving.
That is the worst thing.
But again, I think we have to stop accepting that. Accepting that. Yeah, I'm a grown man, but I feel as well.
Yeah, exactly. I have complaints. Yes, exactly.
I like it. It's okay for me to feel.
Kearney, that that's gonna be another topic because that is he said that's the worst thing ever on Father's Day. A Father's Day person's wishing their mothers happy Father's Day. Yeah,
that's why we celebrate Father's Day.
We're gonna have to. No, you're gonna start celebrating Father's Day. Yes, you are.
Not with these mothers out here.
I said you are, doggone. It's my show. You know what I tell you to do.
You work for today. You can have this argument later on. Digress.
Y'all gonna celebrate Father's Day this year?
I say it and I don't because I say, you know what?
Doggone it. On my show,
they doing something I know I'm already supposed to be doing it.
That's good, but in this house, we celebrating.
Hey, look, and how we celebrate. And you know what? But you know what though? That's how they gonna come at us when we had this conversation. That's what you're supposed to do anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, we're gonna celebrate y'all just like we celebrate mothers. Y'all know.
Right.
I believe in celebration. Celebration of the birthdays.
Thank you.
Celebration of fathers. And anybody who knows me over the years, even before the show, I highlighted dads because y'all don't get enough of it.
I want to thank you for that though, because you've really taught me how to celebrate.
Yeah,
because I don't celebrate, man. It's just another day. Compliments means nothing. It's just it is what it is. That's what we're supposed to do. That's how we rock.
Right.
That's what
I know, but we got to celebrate because your kids need to see that.
That's
too.
the reason it's Capricorn season.
Oh Lord. When's your birthday, John?
May 25th. I'll be 42.
Oh, so you Taurus.
Gemini.
Oh, you Gemini.
He got a light skin side.
Let me go hide.
He got a light skin side.
The Gemini's and Taurus.
He got light skin side.
Oh Lord.
Now I further understand what he means when he was like he almost snapped.
Oh yeah, I was there.
That's Gemini. I know that y'all Gemini. Look, y'all, we are coming to a close on another good. For one, again, this is not the end of this conversation. I definitely need you back. I definitely want you back because I the continuation, the education needs to be out there. The message has to be out there. So I don't know what we got to do, but we're gonna get you back, because this has to. The conversation has to continue. Not only just for y'all, but for the children to understand. My dad is a good dad. My dad is out here working. They need to see this as well, and the communication has to start somewhere. It has to start and say, look, I once loved your mom. We have to be honest. I once loved your mom like that. I still love her, X, Y, and Z, but we're not working out, but I love you and I'm going to do what I need to do for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to have those honest conversations, but we also have to have it as grown women and men. And we need to educate these women and the men because, some of the roles are reversed as well. Yep. But I am blessed in this room to not be around deadbeat dads, and I'm blessed that I have not been around deadbeat dads, and I don't apologize for seeing the brightness in everything, because again, God didn't make you deadbeat dads. There's circumstances that happen, and we don't know, but we're not gonna highlight that. We're gonna highlight fathers like you all. You know what I'm saying? So before we start closing out, each one of you all tell us. Starting with you, John, tell us what's coming up with this movement, and again, how we can support you.
Absolutely.
So yes, give us your information and all.
Well, again, my website is www.peaceofjustice.org. That's PEACE of justice.org. And all of my social media contacts are on that website. As far as what I have coming up, I'm working on building momentum on these petitions to get momentum on that. I'm working to raise money too. I want to get on the radio and then on TV. I want to do the big time. I want to get the word out. That's my goal. And building a coalition. Getting these petitions signed, building a coalition, getting more exposure on the radio and on TV. Yeah. That's what I have coming up. That's what I'm working on.
Okay.
Let's talk after the show.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Tank, the sports guy, what you got coming up?
Being a dad today, hanging out with my kids,
ain't that some?
Which I do all the time.
What you doing today?
Being a dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day of the week, 7 days a week. Just hanging out. On the weekends, we just relax a little bit because I think my kids go through a lot with school. So try to find ways to kick it with them and be crazy and kind of watch it online.
Yeah. Cool. Ghost, what you got going on?
Working. at the studio. We have Spiritual Fortitude after this.
Right.
We getting ready for Buy Black event later on this evening. We have another event that we're going to be attending on tomorrow as well. We got 7 symposium going on next Saturday.
Come on now.
Next Saturday?
Yeah, by the way, being a dad, you know what I mean? Kids might call in the midst of all of that. But you know, that's just the norm. Yeah. I'm used to it.
You used to it.
I'm numb to it.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Green Machine, what you got going on?
Continuing to be a dad. I mean,
ain't nobody tell y'all to keep talking about being no dad.
Hey, look. They said we can talk about it, so we're gonna take this opportunity to talk about it.
That's the beginning tag.
We're gonna take this opportunity to tag on.
Yeah. So I'm continuing to be a dad, and how I intend to do that is continue to keep elevating and continuing to be a better man, and also. We still got the events. He already alluded to it.
Yeah, we got it going on.
So, Buy Black, by the way.
Buy Black, baby.
You can still sign up, 1026situation.com, and click the flyer, and you can register for free $99, $98, $97, $96, $95. Doesn't matter. It's
join us.
Join us.
DJ, what you doing?
Still being a dad.
Yep.
Buying Black later on, and I am currently working on my cigar brand, my cigar line.
Yeah. What? Really?
It's happening. It's coming together.
Like officially work? Like making cigars and all that? Wow. Johnny Rose. Oh, I like that. Johnny Rose.
Watch out for it. Watch out for it.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm smoking my partner cigar.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, circulate them dollars.
That's right.
Saritha, I want to leave with this, talk about this comment. She says, I have a great relationship now with my son's father, and he does a great job with our son.
Thanks for saluting your father.
Thank you, Saritha. I witnessed her over years. And I'm so glad to hear you say that he does a great job with our son, co-parenting, like grown people do. And I know it's not going to happen overnight, but start like going in that direction.
No doubt.
Wow.
What you got going on?
What I got going on? I am, again, if you still want to donate with my feeding, I'm hoping it said it's supposed to be raining tomorrow. So we will see, but either or I will be feeding, at least 50 to 100 people or more this week, if not tomorrow. I am still collecting. So if you would like to donate, you can still cash at me at $$ Trinette Collier, or go to paypal.me/Trinette L Collier. And I'm just doing that. Got some things coming up. The listening party's coming up. Yeah. Listening party. Part 2.
For men or women?
It's gonna be for me, for us women. Yeah. So
no. So y'all listen. Y'all
listening.
Y'all gotta listen again.
We gotta listen again.
I'm gonna talk reckless.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I appreciate you. You know what? Can I make this request?
Yes.
You have to wear a bandana so we can't see your eyebrows.
Yeah, right.
They be doing me so wrong.
She got to put on the bandana.
I'm gonna be quiet this time.
She got to go back to California. She got to put a bandana on.
I'm gonna be quiet this time.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna be quiet this time.
They wasn't even quiet the last time.
We gonna
make it within the first 2 minutes.
I know.
And she had 2 other women.
The whole time y'all was sitting there like Panky. Getting out the car with his drink in his hand.
Yeah, man.
Couldn't even get it out.
Man.
Every time you made a comment. That's all you hear.
It was all
Sean, we appreciate you being here, brother.
Yes, brother. We appreciate
you. Seriously, thank you so much. I will definitely.
I wish I met you back in '94 when I got put in child support. Back in '94. Oh my God!
Yeah, he was a little bit younger then.
I think that was 9th grade.
I'm just saying, because I'm 46, but I'm just saying the movement because it has been going on
for a long time.
And people don't believe it.
Yeah,
there's a statistic that a lot of men, there are men out there who are on child support today.
Yeah,
who shouldn't be. The child's not theirs.
Yeah, but we got to talk about that later.
It's big.
Yeah, we got to talk about that later.
So you guys, until again, I put the Cash App out there. $, Trinette Collier, if you would like to donate to the Feed the Homeless. This is the kickoff for my birthday, 50th year. My goal is to feed 1,971 people over the the 50th year because what 1971 was the year.
Yeah.
It is the year. Yeah. But you know what? Come back next week because you know we gonna talk about this whole Derek Jackson.
Oh yeah. Listen, yes, please.
We're gonna talk about that next.
I might go live.
I know you want to go live.
This thing is getting dirty and dirtier.
Yeah. We gonna talk about DJ.
Yeah.
and the Jacksons. All right. So you know what, y'all? I enjoyed. I thank you all. I am so proud. If nobody else tells you, which I know people tell you, but I am super proud of you all. And I thank y'all so much for taking time in your day with your daughter. And she's such a beautiful person. You ready? You ready to have daddy back now? Yeah. Like that's it. That's enough. I love that smile, girl. Yeah. So until next week, you guys, we are out. DJ. Turn that up.
Saturday mornings, I'm tuned in. Listening to Tishawn, she be going in. Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can't be heard. Man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. For the fools who don't protect black women. No argument, disrespect, that's it, y'all. Please come in peace when you call in. Cause the friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. You got mail messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. Wanna win in life, y'all. You wanna win in life. Tune in to the Sean and Friends. You got mail messages from him. Yeah. You've got mail messages from him. 10 a.m. to noon Saturdays. Tune in. Yeah. You've got mail messages from him.